morning, everybody. My name's Carl Torspens. Welcome to the Sunday morning, August 2nd, 2020. Let's talk about cancel culture. Now, to be honest with you, I had to look it up because I knew what it was, but I didn't know exactly how effective it was. Is cancel culture a form of mob mentality, or is it something that's been brewing in the background for many, many years and finally coming to the top? Is it a mob mentality, or is it an individual effort to character assassinate someone or something? Keep in mind that person or thing, and destroy it, decimate it, socially murder it, make it unacceptable to other people, and to the point to where we boycott or we ostracize people for thinking different than us. Is that what cancel culture is? You tell me, but I'm going to give you some examples, and then we can go from there. Okay, I'm a little bit probably, I don't know what's the best word, but I would say articulate in the sense of being a little bit more emotional about this problem because I see it happening to the point where it's becoming almost ridiculous, and then it's a snowball. You know the snowball effect. Small 6-inch snowball rolls down the hill, picks up a couple feet, 12 inches, it's 36 inches. Exponentially, it becomes a giant snowball, and it's big enough to destroy anything that gets in its path. That's cancel culture. So I believe that today our country has moved beyond reason. It has moved beyond logic and common sense, and we are now into a stage of being excessively punitive and excessively critical of people and things that are around us. Why? It could be politically motivated. It could be personal biases. It could be racism. It could be anything. You don't really need a reason for cancel culture. It just exists because you allow it to exist. So let's talk about when it started. Well, it started a long time ago. We just never had a real good name for it. So let's talk about the fact that it is real. Can't deny it. It is about people being canceled. It's about things being canceled. In other words, culturally blocked, culturally chastised, or culturally punished for being different in opinion, appearance, style, lifestyle, and things like that. Why do we do that? Well, I believe, again, like I said, we're being overly vindictive, we're being overly critical, we're being overly picky about what we expect other people to do, say, or look like. It's crazy, but it's real. Well, it's offensive and racist in some nature, and another is just pure hateful behavior. Now, remember that guy, that security guard that helped raise $1 million for a charity show for, I believe it was ESPN. Remember, he was a hero 1 minute and a zero the next because they found out as a 16-year-old he tweeted nasty or not so kind, offensive type of tweets or words in the old days, and then all of a sudden Anheuser-Busch disassociated with him. They literally fired him, and the papers picked up the story and they started banging him as well. That's an example of cancel culture. They canceled him out. No matter what good deed he did, they canceled him out. It could happen to you. That's why I'm talking to you about it today, so you can be a little bit more aware what cancel culture is and what it can do. Remember that there are things that you do say, body language, dress, those they convey a message. They convey an appearance, an idea. Uh, it may portray you if you choose to be that way. But authors who are writing books, fiction and nonfiction, fiction meaning truthful, nonfiction meaning make believe. Look, they're getting chastised. They're getting rolled because they wrote things that people don't agree with, especially historical books. What is the power of truth when you're trying to change history? That's what cancel culture does. It tries to change history. And we're engaging in it 120% full blown hate, racism, and criticism. So the point being that we all need to be aware not to cancel out people. People have a right to coexist with us, and we need to treat them with respect. And if we don't agree, we don't agree. Walk away. Don't try to cancel them out. Don't boycott their products. Don't be an ass, you might say, to make that life miserable for that individual. Let it go. There's a strong movement today in the country to remove murals, to paint the streets, to tear down statues. That's all part of a cancel culture. They're taking down messages that they don't agree with, and they're putting up messages that they endorse. Black Lives Matter is a good example. They're painting the streets. Black Lives Matters. It's acceptable to paint the streets. Black Lives Matters. However, it's not acceptable to have Confederate statues in the memorial parks in the various cities that are being removed or torn down by city government because of the threat of fear or fear of violence. That's how bad this is. The cancel culture is bad because it imposes and it creates chaos and emotional stir-ups that are run out of control in a heartbeat. So let's talk about some of these. You know, there's a guy named Victor Arnautoff. He was a painter. Well, back in the 30s, he painted a mural at the George Washington High School in San Francisco, and the painting depicted a uh, scene of slavery and violence towards the Native Americans. Now, we all know that's history, and we all know that really happened. So it's not a dispute of whether or not it's factual or not, but it may or is offensive to many. I can respect that. You know, the point being that this mural's been up since 1930 at George Washington High School, and one day, through the cancel culture philosophy, the mural became offensive. It's the same way with the statues of the Confederate generals. One day, somebody woke up and said these statues are offensive. So what happens? They are erased. They are decimated. They are removed. They're destroyed. They are torn down. Cancel culture can be a mob mentality, but it's also an individual or a thing that creates hate, havoc, and a lot of times division. We have a lot of division in this country, and this culture is not helping it any. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Now, I took notes on this because I think it's very important. For the past 5 years, the rise of cancel culture and the idea of canceling someone have become polarizing topics of debate as a familiar pattern has emerged. A celebrity or other public figure does or says something offensive. What's the first response? The first response is we disagree. Second response, with disagreement turns into offensiveness. Third offense, let's boycott. Let's attack this individual. Let's find out who they really are. Let's do background checks on them. The thing is, the goal is to remove or cancel that person, erase them. A public backlash, often fueled by politically progressive social media, that's what this is, what we're doing right now, ensures that the topic will always remain alive. Social media is the main core tool for cancel culture. As long as we have social media, we have an ability to fuel the hate, the racism, and the idea that canceling people is a good thing. Now, on the same note, social media can be used to be opposite of that particular force. We can be positive. We can use it to educate people, and we can allow it to work its way into the people's minds to make them think about cancel culture and see how really destructive it is. We talk about public backlash. I think everybody knows that that's happening. It's real. We talk about the calls to cancel a person. That is to effectively end their career. That's to revoke their cultural work and to boycott or get them fired. See the destructiveness here? Do you see what I'm talking about? It's not just about disagreeing. It's not just about, oh, I'm offended by it. We're talking about destruction of life. This is suicide if you do it. This is homicide if you partake in it. And when you want to put it in perspective, it's social murder. Okay? Social murder. Because you're using social media to attack and destroy someone. Character assassination has been allowed now for the last 5 years. The courts are real picky about taking lawsuits on things like this, and the odds are that if you're participating in something like this, you can be sued. You can be sued, so you better have some facts to back up what you're doing. Don't be emotional and get all out of hand. But you can be sued, and the truth of the matter is, the Washington Post was sued by a young man who was accused of instigating or participating in a event that was reported untruthfully, and they settled. They settled. I think you know which case I'm talking about. I believe the young man's first name was Nick, and he was accused or allegedly participating in a embarrassment or a taunting or some kind of agitated behavior against another person, a protester, when in fact he was not. He never said anything. He never did anything to be accused of anything. Now that's cancel culture. Making something out of nothing, elevating it to a new level to where the emotion takes over and you become a victim of someone else's wrath. Hate, racism, those are all negative words. Keep them out of your vocabulary. Keep them out of your mind. This is Carl Torsbens. I'm trying to tell you that cancel culture is festering, it is growing exponentially, and we need to stop it. Give me your comments. Let me know how you feel about cancel culture. Do you participate in it or do you embrace it? Do you think it's wrong or do you think it's right? Are there limitations? Are you allowed in your own mind to participate in it up to a certain level? Well, how do you back out of it? Once you participate, how do you remove yourself from such an activity? This is a tough one, but I want you to really think about it because this is real. We are destroying America through the words of cancel culture where we're canceling people, we're canceling things, and we're doing destructive, divisive actions that keep us from taking care and loving each other. Regardless of color, regardless of race, regardless of gender, cancel culture destroys everything that it's applied to, and it must stop. So obviously I'm not embracing it, but I will tell you that in some mild form or other, I probably uh, participated in something like this in the sense of expressing my view of a boycott of a product. When you boycott a product, you're engaging in cancel culture. As simple as that sounds, it's true. You're endorsing something that other people have started. Or if you start the boycott, then I don't know what to say except that you're the spokesperson for that boycott, and you're going to try to pick up as much support as you can about that. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Petitions, we have more petitions today than any other time because everybody is an expert, and everybody wants to get involved in something that they don't agree with. This is Carl Torsbens. This is my forum for Sunday, August the 2nd. I hope you take a good look at cancel culture and then tell me, do you agree with it or do you disagree? Are you pro or con? Give me a comment. Thank you and have a great day.